at least for me, has just kind of flown by. I don't know about you. Take Two is with me, Jerry Usher, along with Debbie Georgiani and the show team, all in place right now, believe it or not. Matt, Rich, Jeff, and Charles are all helping out behind the scenes, and we can't do this show without them. And Debbie, we can't do this show without you, so it's good to have you here today. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I still have that raspy voice. You sent Ribbit, our frog, back over to Arizona. Thank you very much, Jerry. So I'm hanging in there. He's a nice little pet to have, but I don't want to keep him too long. I'm going to send him back to California soon.
What's that acronym you use for frog?
Fully rely on God.
Fully rely on God. Okay, there you go, Debbie. You practice what you preach today.
Okay, I will do that, Jerry, absolutely. But I just wanted to say that the raspy voice is because we're in the final hours of the Fall Spirit Drive at AM 1260, The Rock in Cleveland, and we're going strong. It's wonderful. We had Bishop Malesic on the air with us, and he was supporting Catholic radio, said some great things about what Catholic radio can do in the hearts and minds and souls of others. So if your local station comes to you and says it's pledge drive time, it's the pledge season, please give generously. And I know we have a wonderful pledge drive starting next week on Monday through Friday. Carolina Catholic Radio in Charlotte has their fall pledge drive. So please make sure you support them at carolinacatholicradio.org. That's coming up on Monday. On Tuesday through Thursday, Archangel Radio fall pledge drive. That is very exciting in Mobile. So we want to support these affiliates, support your local Catholic radio station. When you know what your station is, okay? They're gonna on air say to you, it is the fall pledge drive. Support us, and please do so. And don't forget to remember EWTN. That's my little plug for pledge drives, and you can tell I've got my pledge drive voice on. So now I'll switch to the Take Two voice. And Jerry, I'm excited about today. You put this on the calendar. You definitely want to go down memory lane, don't you?
Well, we've had some heavy shows this week. We always offer, a little bit deeper, heavier content on the program, and sometimes we want to lighten things up a little bit. So as we head into a weekend on this feast of St. Teresa of Avila, great feast day in the church today, we're asking you, the Take Two family, to weigh in on what your favorite high school memory was, or is. Memory still is. 833-288-EWTN, 833-288-3986. If you're young enough to still remember what your high school years were like, pick a memory and share it with us today, and tell us why that one stands out for you.
So please fill the phone lines. Matt Gabinski is waiting to answer your call at 833-288-EWTN. That's 833-288-3986. Let's go down that memory lane together and share with us your favorite high school memory. Or maybe you didn't have any good high school memories and you'd like to share the flip side of that and say why you couldn't wait to get out of high school. So maybe you want to share that as well. This is the Take Two family. We cover the good, the bad, and the ugly. That's the way we roll here at Take Two with Jerry and Debbie and you. And by the way, the chaplain, Father Doug Brown at Cleveland The Rocks station, Jerry, he constantly reminds everybody that it's Take Two with Debbie and Jerry. He does that just to make me feel good. Okay. Isn't that nice?
All right. Is it officially changed, or do we have to go through legal loopholes here? Or?
No, but we had Dr. Ray Garendi, and his show follows ours each weekday. And Dr. Ray Garendi came on the Spirit Drive, and we talked about that. And Dr. Ray was asking, how come you got the first position? And I said, well, actually, folks, I said, let me share with you. Jerry actually offered it to me. He actually said to me, I don't know if you remember this, Jerry, when we were designing the show, you said, you want to go first? You can go first. And then I said, no, Jerry, you have been around before radio even existed. You should go first. And Dr. Ray laughed.
Well, I have been around since a lot of technologies we use in radio today have been around.
Right.
But come on, Take Two family. We got to have a big show, a big conversation here on this final day of this week, final live show, which actually, don't forget, every day we replay the show at Encores at midnight Eastern Time. But call in with your favorite high school memory or memories, if you can't narrow it down to one, maybe two or three. 833-288-3986. 288-EWTN. You can email us, take2@EWTN.com, post on social media, the YouTube and Facebook channels where we're waving to you right now. And Charles Beery will get those over to us. You could also comment on the show's website, take2show.com. And if you'd like to text your comments in, you can text EWTN to 55000. Wait for a response. Put in your first name and your comment, and there might be a small data rate depending on your plan. But you can get a hold of us a lot of different ways. So no excuses, you guys. Let's end this week on a big note.
So we have everybody in place, our producers, Rich and Jeff, our call screener, Matt Gabinski, Charles Beery is on social media. Jerry and I are here. Well, we're somewhat here. It's Friday.
Yeah.
It's Friday. I'm a little punchy on Fridays, so you never know what's going to come out of this Giorgiani mouth. So on Fridays. But we have fun, right? And this is what we always say on Fridays, okay? Don't get started with your weekend yet. You need to call in and participate. So come on, you guys. Fill the phone lines, Take Two family, at 833-288-3986. You can even do a shout out to your high school, and you just tell us where you grew up and stuff like that. It's always fun. And we'll go fast. It's a Friday, so we'll go fast Fridays. Hey, I just coined that. What do you think, Fast Fridays?
Yeah,
you
like
that?
it, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Really? Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Hey, the phones are ringing, Jerry, and it's not a pledge drive. That's a good thing.
No, Debbie, the phones are ringing.
We never can get that in sync. What is the matter?
I don't know. We're out of practice. But you, Take Two family, you're not out of practice. You are filling those phone lines up, and we appreciate that. There's still a couple left if you want to be in the first group to get on the program today. Yeah, as Debbie said, give a shout-out to your high school. Where did you go to high school? Large school, small school? What was your experience like? What was your favorite memory? After the opening segment here, Debbie and I, when we come back, we will share what we have kind of come up with as our favorite high school memories. I was laying in bed last night, Debbie, thinking about this, and I have so many. I loved high school. What about you? Did you love high school?
Yeah, it was a blast. At James Caldwell High School in West Caldwell, New Jersey. Go Chiefs. They're awesome. I'll share some stories about my high school days, and Jerry will as well. But we want to hear from you, our listeners, our family. So call in 833-288-3986.
I received communion in my hands, and my dad gets it on the tongue, and I was wondering if it was more respectful to get it on the tongue than the hands.
This is Steve calling from Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Oh, Hershey.
We send you love and kisses, and we will send kisses to you.
Oh, wonderful. Yay.
Yes.
Mother Angelica,
Answering the call.
Sunday, 2 and 8 p.m. Eastern, exclusively on EWTN Radio.
He is honored by the Church as a saint with the title of the Seraphic Doctor.
Matthew Bunson and the Doctors of the Church.
One of the greatest theologians and Franciscan mystics in church history, Bonaventure also wrote a biography of St. Francis that was commissioned by the Franciscans themselves. It took a saint and true mystic to understand a true saint and mystic. He died in 1274.
For more about the Doctors of the Church, visit doctorsofthechurch.com.
The EWTN on-demand platform features 50 new podcasts every week, as well as an ever-expanding library of audio and video content for Catholics who want to learn more about their faith simply using their mobile device, computer, or TV. Your favorite EWTN programs are available 24/7. Visit EWTN.com and click On Demand. EWTN, the Global Catholic Network.
What is your favorite high school memory? Your only challenge today should be narrowing it down to one or two. Hopefully you have a lot of good memories from high school. As Debbie said at the start of the show, even if your memories are not so pleasant and you want to maybe share why that was here on the program today, we we just give you the platform. The microphone is yours, 833-288-3986. We have several calls we're going to get to, and a line or two still open, so get on one of those open lines. Just want to mention before we do take your phone calls, EWTN Religious Catalog has an Advent taper candle holder. It's metal, and you can buy your own Advent wreath with this build your own Advent wreath with this sturdy study platform candle holder. It's made of metal, painted gold, and holds 4 standard taper candles. The base measures approximately 7.5 inches in diameter. Candles are sold separately, which are also available from the Religious Catalog, and you get free standard shipping for online orders $75 or more in the continental United States only. Use the code FREE at checkout. This is the Advent taper candle holder, available now at EWTNRC.com.
EWTN radio family events next week. Some folks wanted me to mention it again. Monday through Friday next week is Carolina Catholic Radio in Charlotte, their fall pledge drive, and that's carolinacatholicradio.org. In Mobile, Archangel Radio. I love the name of that radio station. Fall pledge drive Tuesday through Thursday, and that's archangelradio.com. Do you want to go first, Jerry, and share your high school story? Because I know we're going to go back and forth. It's Fast Friday, and I'm dying to hear what kept you up all night as you were reminiscing about your high school days.
Well, real quickly, I thought of many of them. Some of them they're great memories, but they were kind of sad at the time. One of them was in I think it was my senior year of high school. We had pretty bad football teams. You know, I played varsity 4 years. We went 5 and 4, 4 and 5, 2 and 7 in my 4 years. But for homecoming, my senior year, we played the number 1 team in the state on our home field on homecoming. We lost 20-13. We had a chance to win the game in the end. And so I still remember that frustration. We had the homecoming dance after that, and no one was really in a dancing mood, after losing that close game to the top-ranked team. But also my graduation night was just a very special experience for me. I loved high school, like I said, and at the party after graduation, I was crying on the shoulders of many of my classmates, saying, "I'm going to miss you guys."
Oh,
so yeah, it was.
Did they write in your yearbook and everything?
Oh yeah, we did that on last day of school.
Do you still have your yearbook?
Somewhere, I believe I do. Yes, I've moved about 30 times since then. You do that when you're in radio.
Yeah, yeah, that's cool. Marty was sharing his high school days. He was like a high school basketball star in Scottsdale, Arizona. He was big into basketball, and he told me I didn't know this. He never went to prom. He never went to prom. So I was thinking, what a great anniversary gift I could give him if I could recreate a prom setting and we pretend we go to prom. Wouldn't that be cool?
Or take him out dancing somewhere.
I do that all the time.
You guys do ballroom dancing, right?
We do. But he never went to prom. Did you go to prom?
Oh yeah, every year. Wow,
every year?
Yeah.
Like freshman all the way through. Wow.
Well, we had school dances every year. Yeah. I don't know. We had a small school. We were less than 150 students. So if you just had a senior prom, there'd be like 30 people there, and.
Oh, gotcha. So it was smaller, more intimate. Yeah. Yeah, that's really cool. We want to hear from you, dear listeners. You're hearing from Jerry, and I shared about my husband's high school experience, and I'll share mine as well. So we want to hear from you because we have open phone lines. Don't get started with your weekend yet. I say that multiple times on Friday, and it always works because you call in 833-288-3986. We're going to go to the phones, and Lori is up first in Silver Spring, Maryland. Hi, Lori. Thanks for waiting and welcome.
Hi, hello. How you doing? Good afternoon, or is it good morning?
Good afternoon where you are. Yeah, sure.
Yes. Thanks for taking my call. I appreciate that.
Sure.
I've been excited. I've been trying to call, and I said, okay, I really like listening to your station. Well, I like listening to EWTN radio if I'm not, home or watching television.
Beautiful.
That's all I do. Nothing but EWTN.
Good for you. Good for you, Lori. So what about high school or school, any other school?
Yeah. Well, I went to the Philippines in my elementary and high school, and I had a good time in high school. But there's something that I'd like to talk, if it's okay. Is that all right with you? During my elementary time. In elementary, I think when I was like third grade, I have a friend then that we decided after school, because there's a 5 o'clock mass, in the church. That was St. Joseph Church. So we decided to go, and we've been going almost every afternoon. My mother was like, why were you coming home late? Oh, because we go to church. And I think that's how it started, me going to church. So we did it almost the whole time when we were third grade. And then after a while, for some reason, after that, I guess, went to a different section, and I don't remember her, and I didn't see her anymore, but her name got stuck on me, and I always remember, and I said, every time people would ask me, what made you come to the church? And I always mention her name. And I said, it's because, I think that's how we started, and I couldn't forget her. And then when I was already here in the States, when we had a class reunion in high school, I didn't know that she went to the same high school, but it was a big high school. And I said, oh, my gosh, I know that. I know that name, and I have not forgotten. And I finally got to talk to her, and we talked when we were in elementary. And that's what I'd like to share, Sometimes you run into some person that after a while you don't forget, so many things. But I thought that was really nice that I could remember and help me, help my faith.
Yeah, I'll say, Lori, what a great memory to recall from in your case, elementary school. Now, you said you started going to church after school. Was it Mass? Did they have Mass that you went to?
Yes.
Okay.
Mass. They do Mass up to the present time. They do Mass in the morning with a daily Mass, and then one at 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Wow.
And so we've been going, So I thought I share, and I still, and I know she's also back here in the States, somewhere in the East Coast. But I keep, remembering her name and praying, and I thank God for that time.
Yeah, indeed. That is really something to be thankful to God for, Lori, because, I don't know about, where you did mention where you went to school, and I'm not asking, but, I can tell you that where I went to school, especially in high school, not so much in the elementary school, but in high school, many of the things that the students went off to after school were not all that really healthy and good for them. And I say them, not excluding myself necessarily, except for the fact that I was usually going to practice after school and then went home to have dinner because I was involved in all the sports teams. But to have a habit, kind of make a tradition, if you will, of going to church and going to Mass after school, wow, this is really, Debbie, this had to have built a really strong foundation for Lori even up to this day in her life.
Oh, yeah. Look how you can remember it and recall it, Lori. I think it's so beautiful, and that's the impact.
It's a grace. That's how I feel. It's a grace, from God. I went to a public school, actually, both elementary and high school. But they used to send students from St. Columban College, and that was a private. So in order for them, I think some of the students, in order for them to get a cheaper tuition fee or maybe free, they would go to public school to teach religion class. And I think that's how also it helped. I don't think they do that now, which is really sad, And but that was really help. But, I went in the 60s. I think third grade, that was probably like 1964. It was a while back. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. Right. I'm hoping people, still do things like that. But it's a little bit different now, which is a little bit sad sometimes.
Yeah. Well, Lori, you know what? Thank you so much for stepping up and being first up on Take Two and starting off the conversation. You are a precious soul, and the kind words and what you shared with us today. See, this is why we love this. We love to learn what leaves a lasting impact in others, and and how we can impart that to each other, and we can grow in faith, and we can talk about things that we normally can't talk about in the outside world when we're interacting with people. So, Lori, God bless you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. You pray for me. I appreciate that. And
absolutely.
Actually, my name is Rory, Rory, Maria.
Oh, Rory. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Okay,
sorry about that, Rory. Yeah.
No, it's okay. It's because I think my father started with letter R and started giving us everybody, begins with letter R.
Oh, yeah.
And for some reason, I think it was my aunt who gave that name. And one time I was in high school, and maybe this is another thing. I was looking for my name because you have to find out which section you're going to go, and it's usually like girl's name, boy's name. And I said, oh, my gosh, I know my mother had enrolled me, and I couldn't find my name. So I went back again from section 1 to, I think they were like up to section 18. It was a big high school. And I was like, I found my name, and the boys drew, that's the
Yeah.
boy's name. I said,
Oh, my
then I found
goodness.
out,
That's
But
funny.
Well, Rory, we put you in the book, the prayer book. Absolutely be assured of our prayers. You are a special member of the Take Two family, and we just love you for that, okay? So thank you so very, very much. Now
Thank
you
you
can
so
get started with your weekend, all right?
Yes. Thank you very much. God bless you all.
God bless
Thank
you,
you.
Rory. Thank you so much. Before we get to Barbara, the show team, we have this little chat box between all of us, and we're kind of typing back and forth our favorite school lunches. Did you have was one of these comments from you, Debbie? Did you have a favorite
No,
school lunch or?
I think it was from Jeff. Jeff was and Rich maybe and Matt. I liked pizza too on Fridays. We had cheese pizza on Fridays.
Yeah, I like every Wednesday was chili, and they made the chili right there in the school, and it was so good. I always tried to go back and finagle a little bit of a second helping.
It was probably canned chili.
No, they made it. They made it right there.
They made it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You had a smaller school. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that was a really gourmet style lunches then.
Yeah. Well, real quick, this just came to me too. I got to tell you, I guess I used to kind of like eat the food everybody else didn't eat on their lunch trays, So one time, this one friend of mine decided to kind of play a prank on me, and he brought in a sandwich, and he said, "I'm too full. I'm not going to be able to eat all of this, Jerry. Do you want it?" And I was immediately suspicious, and he actually put dog food on the bread. It was a dog food sandwich, and because I guess I was just like a vacuum cleaner with all the food, So
Was he a friend of yours?
yeah, we lived.
Oh, yeah,
just,
so he was doing it as a
yeah, it was a
prank.
fun prank. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let me ask you a question. That's kind of gross. You went to other people's trays and ate their food?
I didn't go to their trays. If they didn't want, an apple or a half a sandwich or something, they might offer it to me.
Oh, okay. So okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So that you were human, you cleaned up the whole cafeteria.
Yeah, I had a pretty good appetite back then.
Well, you played sports. I mean, most
Yeah.
people that play sports, they can eat a lot. That's hilarious. That's a great memory. I didn't know that about you before. See, dear listeners, this is what we learn. We learn and grow, and we learn about each other. So you can jump in on this action and call in and share in this conversation at 833-288-3986. Where are we going, Jerry?
Barbara has been holding patiently in Geneva, New York, listening on Sirius XM 130. Hi, Barbara. Good to have you with us.
Hi. Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I went to school in Buffalo, New York, and it was a very, very small private Catholic high school. And we didn't have lunch. We had to bring our own lunch. But the nuns were wonderful. If we brought our records that we wanted to play, now I graduated in 1965, so it's a long time ago. But they would let us play the records, and the nuns used to dance with us. Oh my God! I thought that was the greatest thing in the whole world. They were real people. They were,
Right.
they were just wonderful.
Down to earth, yeah.
And then we had the priests were redemptorist priests that was there. So they were just wonderful. And we used to go every Wednesday. They had novena to the I forget which the novena was, but they would. So that kind of brought me more to my Catholic church. I always went to Catholic school, but that gave me the drive to go more and to be part of the church more. And as of today, I'm a Eucharistic minister. I help with the nursing home, and I do all that because I think the nuns wanted me to know how much, if you love people, you'll do things for them. And I think they loved us immensely, They were talking about small graduating classes. My class was 80, so that was very small small school, But
Wow.
I'm always grateful for the Sisters of Notre Dame and the Redemptorist priests because they were just fantastic. I wish everybody had the experience I did.
Yeah, the Sisters of Notre Dame. I'm going to always remember that, Barbara, and to think that they had that joy, right? They were displaying that through dancing and just, having fun. And that is so important, Barbara, because, on this feast day of Saint Teresa of Avila, she was the saint that talked about, having grumpy faces as Catholics, being grumpy.
Yeah,
and we...
yeah.
Right. And it's important for our clergy and our religious to really demonstrate that joy. And we should, as the faithful as well, we should feel like we won that. I think somebody just won, I think in your state of California, Jerry, like a $700 million lottery. We should feel like,
Wasn't me.
I know. It wasn't you, Jerry? Okay. But we should feel like we won that gigantic spiritual lottery, right? That jackpot. And we should walk around with that joy and let it just, connect with one another, because then people will want to really, truly be Catholic, stay Catholic, and know that we know the end of the story. So, Barbara, I'm so glad you shared this today about the memory that you have about the sisters and dancing and putting on music. I think that's beautiful, and I think it relates so perfectly today on this feast day.
Well, I had a wonderful growing up time, and like I said, the Sisters of Notre Dame and the Redemptorist priest were just phenomenal. So I'm very grateful for that. So.
Absolutely. Well, I can relate to that, Barbara. My uncle was a Redemptorist priest for about 55 years, most of those spent in Thailand doing missionary work, but I got to know a lot of the Redemptorists through him, and you are right. So you had some great experiences, and I know you've inspired the Take Two family today here on the program, Barbara in Geneva, and we have more of your calls are coming right up.
Al Cresta, Jonette Williams, Father Robert Spitzer. You'll hear the leading Catholic voices on the largest Catholic media network in the world. This is the EWTN Global Catholic Radio Network.
Hi, this is Trent Horn from Catholic Answers, and a lot of people ask me, how do you pray? I like the ACTS formula, ACTS. First, we adore God, realize He's God, we are not. We're contrite, we ask Him to forgive us of our sins. We're thankful, we thank Him for the blessings and trials He's given us. And then we make supplications and ask Him for help in our own lives, doing all of this so we can grow closer to Him and spend eternity with Him.
And now, the EWTN Family Prayer with Father Joseph.
Family, a prayer that we pray together is a powerful prayer. So please pray together with me our EWTN family prayer. Today we pray for those who are suicidal. Heavenly Father, we adore you. You delighted in the thought of each one of us, and so created us that we would share in your life and love both now and forever. Our lives are precious. Help those who are tempted to take their own lives to find you. Reveal your love to them and open their eyes to the wonder of their existence. Give them hope in their despair, joy in their sorrow, peace in their distress. Amen.
Hi, this is Jonette Williams. There's nothing like Women of Grace to explain the truth of our faith, Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern, here on EWTN Radio. Now, back to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie.
Take Two with Jerry and Debbie, your show on a Friday, the Feast of St. Teresa of Avila. And we heard from Teresa from Maryland via email, and I will get to that in just a moment. But first, as we talk about favorite high school memories or experiences, or, it doesn't even have to really be high school. I think we've all shared, but you, Debbie, did you ever share yet today what your favorite memory was?
Mine's not as I think it's yours is very funny about eating off of everybody else's tray tables, but I mean no, I'm teasing. Jerry, you're very polite. You do ask first. Jerry and I do pledge. When we used to travel, we used to do pledge drives all around the country, and so of course we'd grab a quick dinner or something. And now it makes complete sense because you would stare at what I would order, and you would just stare at it, and so you were actually wanting a taste of it. That's what it was. Now I finally realize it.
No, it was actually my pleasure at watching you enjoy a delicious meal. It was all about you, Debbie. I really, the focus was on you, and I was so grateful to God that you had a delicious meal in front of you.
Right. That was hilarious.
How's that for spin?
That was very good, very good. Okay, so mine's not as humorous as that, but this is a true story, and this is probably something that folks don't know about me. I can get bored easily. I got bored easily at school. I was in a lot of honors classes. I'm not trying to brag or anything, but I liked school, so I did well. I excelled in school, and my senior year, I was going to be named as the captain because I started as a freshman. I was going to be named the captain of the boys golf team. We did not have a girls golf team. So I would have been named in the spring of my graduating year, I would have been named the captain of the boys golf team. So I had a lot going for me there. And there was only one other female in our school that ever achieved that. And it was a big deal. And my parents were excited and everything. And in September of that year, of my senior year, I came home to my parents and I said, I'm leaving. I'm leaving for Arizona. I'm graduating early. I'm getting out of high school. I'm bored. I can't take it anymore. And my dad said, you're going to walk away from everything we've worked for since you were 4 years old and you're going to move to Arizona? I said, yeah. And he goes, you're never going to do it. I said, yeah, I am. I walked into my principal's office, sat down. I can't even remember his name, but I know he had an Italian last name. And I sat down and I said, yeah, and I sat down and I said, I'm bored. I need to go. And he said, well, you're lucky. You have enough credits. You only need to take one extra class and you can do that. And he said, you could graduate in December of that year. So I never walked with my graduating class. I left a half a year early and I took off for Arizona early.
Wow. Good. Yeah. Beautiful. I had half a day classes my last semester.
Oh, you did? So you got out at noon or something?
At noon, yeah. After lunch, of course. I stayed for lunch.
Oh, you did. Yeah. Did you go to work after that, or did you play sports?
I did. I did go to work a lot. I had a job starting when I was 12 at the local grocery store.
Okay.
All the way till I went to broadcasting school. Nice. But people don't want to hear about my but you know what our producer just said. That's why you enjoy buffets, so you can pick and choose, and because you do like buffets, in Chinese buffets and stuff. Don't you? Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Interesting. We're learning a lot about you today. The whole show is about Jerry today. Okay, back to the phones.
Yeah, well, Teresa, we'll get to Teresa's email in a minute, but back to the phones. Yes.
Okay, Maureen has been waiting so patiently. I hope you're enjoying the banter, Maureen, in Northwest Colorado. Welcome to Take Two.
Oh, good morning, everybody. Yes, I just have a quick sharing of, I wasn't too happy in high school, but I got to go to parochial school for 8 years, all the way through 8th grade, and we had a graduation and everything, and it was wonderful. We had all nuns, and they were great. I thought they were really strict when I was young, but I'm so grateful for every gift they gave us and how to behave, who we were. Our Catholic education every day. The priest would pop in and visit and give it, and we'd always ask them for their blessing. We went to Mass every morning. It was required. If you didn't, you had to show up, or you had to bring up a note from your parents. And then during Lent, every day we went over the whole school, 1st through 8th grade, and we went to the Stations of the Cross. It was such a foundation of we slept, ate, and lived the Catholic faith, and it was wonderful our whole lives. Everybody we knew, everybody we associated with, it was just like our own place in the world. And we had big processions in May to the crowning of the Blessed Mother. I have pictures of it. Of course, it was a long time ago because I'm in my 70s, and we had basketball team, and we traveled. There were so many parochial schools then, everywhere. We'd go to Boulder, and we'd play that team in Greeley, and it was awesome. And I got to be a cheerleader, so I'm not that coordinated anymore. But anyway, it was great, and I just wish I could give that gift to my granddaughter. But the parochial schools have just begun to disappear more and more, and it's so sad because to grow up in the Catholic faith like that was such a gift. And our 8th grade religion class before we graduated was given by Father Brown, and it was wonderful. Such a gift. Anyway, I wanted to share.
Yeah, well, thank you for sharing, Maureen. Thank you for your patience and waiting to get on the air. And, you know, the picture you're portraying, it almost sounds like a Bing Crosby movie to me or something, you know. Some of those great movies they made about priests, and there have been so many great movies about nuns and religious and so forth. And you're right. I mean, the Catholic schools don't exist in the number that they once did. And, unfortunately, really sadly, the vocations don't exist in the numbers that they once did either. It's really difficult for nowadays for a bishop to assign a number of priests to any given school, or religious communities of sisters often can't do the same thing. Thanks be to God, some of them, there still are some that exist, but indeed, Debbie, Maureen talked about the foundation that this laid for her, and this is, I just wish every young, not just Catholic boy and girl, but every young boy and girl had a chance to experience something like this.
Mm-hmm. It was beautiful. You know, you could just hear, Maureen, in your voice, it just walking down memory lane and the impact it made on you. You could hear it. You almost sounded like you were right back there. You know, does it feel that way for you? Like when you go back there, you can feel the same kinds of, internal feelings and the joy and the smile gets put on your face and the memories just light up. I think it's so beautiful to do that every once in a while, is to walk down and to really see the parts that stand out for you in a good way. You know, you said you didn't necessarily have such a great experience in other areas, but this was one particular area that, you know, it sounds like your voice just went back to the day, right, Maureen?
Yes, correct. It was just a wonderful way to be raised because, like I said, the whole culture we lived in was Catholic. I mean, everything was, we associated our family, you know, everything. It was just wonderful celebrations at Christmas and midnight mass and Easter's, and it was wonderful. I just wish I could give that gift to my granddaughter because it was, I wish because we were so strong in our faith. We really were.
Mm-hmm. Well, Maureen, you know what? There's creative ways to bring those traditions and those memories back to the world today. We just have to get creative. You know, we have to find ways to do things and to leave those lasting memories for our kids and our grandkids. And you can do it, Maureen, because you're carrying them with you, so they're inside of you, and you just have to figure out a way to impart them to your family. You can do it, Maureen.
Yeah. Well, thank you all, and thank you for everything you guys do, and thank you for your prayer book. I pray for it all the time.
Thank you, and you're in it, and you're in the prayer book as well, so thank you. Okay. Beautiful call.
Okay. Yeah, thanks. Okay. God bless you.
Bye.
833-288-3986. We have more calls we're going to get to, but I mentioned we had an email from Teresa in Maryland. She says, today is my feast day, St. Teresa of Avila. High school was a difficult time socially, academically, a rather rigorous Ursuline Academy high school, and personally, adjusting to the freer environment after coming from a much more structured Catholic parish school. My favorite memory is my graduation day. I felt like I was floating on happiness that day. I had made it through, and I was on my way to college where I could focus more on studying what interested me and less on what the school wanted me to focus on. When I started college that fall, I remember fulfilling early writing assignments by writing about my high school graduation and what that day felt like and what it meant to me. That's from Teresa in Maryland.
Wow, beautiful. You can email us as well, take2@EWTN.com. We read everything. We may not get a chance to reply to everything because we get an abundance of emails. It's wonderful. But take2@EWTN.com or on social media, or you can text us, or you can call in. And Jerry, we want to just clarify because we're getting some questions. I guess some of our Take Two family members are confused. So just real quickly, you went to Catholic school briefly, and then you went to public school the rest of your young days.
Yeah. I was like maybe a third of first grade at the Catholic school. It was about 30 miles away, and my mother was driving my sister and me there, and we went off, skidded off into the ditch on some ice one morning. I actually could look out my bedroom window across the street and see the elementary school.
Wow.
So after that incident of going into the ditch, Mom said, that's it. You guys are going to the public schools. And you know what? Back then, we weren't any worse for it, really, you know.
Right.
Nowadays, you know, obviously things are changing horribly in some public schools. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I went to, public schools.
Okay, and just real quickly, just to clarify, because these are the messages that are coming in. I went to K through 8 Catholic school, St. Aloysius, the same school as Father Benedict Rochelle. He went a lot earlier than I did, but same school. That's Catholic, Dominicans, and also then I went to public school for high school, 3.5 years of high school because I graduated early. James Caldwell High School. So yes, with now the Take Two family can understand if I would say I went, most of my schooling was through Catholic school. So, okay, we're going to go back to the phones. Bruce has been waiting so patiently in western Nebraska. We just flew over Nebraska. It's so beautiful, Bruce. Welcome.
Well, thank you. Hey, I got something to reminisce about what Jerry was talking about, somebody playing a joke on him. This happened at my school I was working at here a few years back, and anyway, they made everything homemade at my school, too, where I worked at. And anyway, one day they was making pizza, and they made homemade pizza. Anyway, they decided to serve some pizza that they got from commodities from the government. And anyway, I called it cardboard pizza, and I said, why are we having cardboard pizza instead of homemade? So anyway, the next time they made homemade pizza, guess what? They made a cardboard pizza just for me, and instead of making a regular pizza, they made the dough and everything, crust, and put a piece of cardboard in it, then covered it with cheese and fed it to me. And so, yeah, that was one joke. And then another time they was making homemade pigs in a blanket. You know what those are, Jerry?
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
Well, anyway, they decided to play another joke on me. Well, instead of rolling a hot dog up in the dough, they rolled up a toilet paper roll in it and fed that to me. And so anyway, I just wanted to share those couple little memories going down memory lane for me. This old school I worked at for about 18, 20 years.
Wow.
They made everything homemade, too, and, yeah, they were just a blast to work with, these girls, and I helped them out a lot in the kitchen there, and it was just a lot of fun. So anyway, I wanted to share that with you, and
thank you, Bruce. Yeah, hang on the line here, because I'm sure my 100% Italian co-host is cringing at the thought of cardboard being put in pizza. But before we get to that, I was curious, Bruce, what made you such an attractive target for the practical jokes? Were you a practical joker yourself, and they were wanting to get back at you, or why? What was it about you that they did these things?
You know what? I don't know why. Me and the head cook gal, we just really hit it off, and like I said, it was, I don't know why they did it, but I guess because I made fun of their cardboard pizza that they fed that day, with
right.
commodity stuff. And so anyway, yeah, it was a lot of fun. I really kind of missed it. I'm back to driving semi now.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Well, Bruce, I was chuckling as you were sharing the pranks because I was thinking the same thing as Jerry, like what made you a target for this? So you must have this kind of sense of humor yourself. But it's interesting that you chose, the cardboard pizza, thought of how a pizza tastes and looks, because I'm always joking. No offense to Arizonans. I love Arizona. I love living here. It's a wonderful place. Been here about 36, 37 years. But I've always said this, out in Arizona, it's cardboard pizza. I miss New Jersey pizza. And so when you said that, I started chuckling, Bruce, because I'm thinking I eat that all the time, cardboard pizza, because that's all they serve us here.
Oh, I'll tell you what, this pizza these girls made up here, it was pretty awesome. And when they serve like hamburgers, they made all the hamburger buns by hand.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just, this little gal, she's quite a little cook, and she's about ready to retire, I think, and it's been just a lot of fun.
Well, Bruce, you sound like you have a fabulous sense of humor. That's so cool I'm a big believer in having a sense of humor. As a matter of fact, I just got back from the Rhoda Wise's the Miracle House in Canton, Ohio, and I asked the caretaker of the house there, Karen. I said, when Jesus appeared here, did he have a sense of humor? And she had shared a story of something that Jesus had said to Rhoda when he had appeared. Apparently, there were a lot of boxes in the room of the bedroom. And Jesus made the comment, didn't you make enough room for me to show up? And so I'm thinking, isn't that great that our God has a sense of humor, Bruce? So there's a good virtue in that.
You bet, exactly. That's what makes time go so fast, I guess. Having a lot of fun with your coworkers and I really kind of missed it. I lost my son back in June to a truck accident, and decided that's kind of what I wanted to go back to do, was driving a semi, and I'd done that before I went to work here at that school, and anyway, I better get off so some other people can get in there, but really enjoy your show, you folks.
Oh, thank you, Bruce. Bruce, do you feel comfortable giving? We're so sorry for your loss. Do you feel comfortable giving us his first name so we can enter him into the book?
Yeah, Shane was his name.
Okay, we're so sorry, Bruce. So sorry.
So, after it happened, I called into there on a Saturday morning and talked to what's her name, Colleen Kelly Mast, I think.
Yeah, Colleen Kelly Mast. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and really had a good chat with her. So I'm really thankful for Catholic radio. So anyway, thank you, folks.
Thank you, Bruce. Yeah.
And safe driving, Bruce. Safe driving.
Yeah,
Your guardian
absolutely.
angel's with you.
Well,
Yes.
I'm pulled off right now, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, all
All
the
right.
sugar beets today.
Oh, sugar beets. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, God bless you for what you do, Bruce. I'm sure you're more aware than we are of the situation with the supply chains and all of that for products and food and stuff. So God bless you for what you do. That's a very beautiful job. You're doing a great service for all of the rest of us. Thank you, Bruce.
Okay, thanks, folks.
Okay, God bless.
Beautiful, beautiful call. I'm so sorry for his loss. We have Shane in our book and the whole family as well. Mike from Braintree, Massachusetts, listening on the Station of the Cross. Call back. You have time. If you call back quickly, Matt, it will happily put you at the front of the line because you've been waiting. So, Mike, if you're listening. And then also, just to remind everyone, Bruce is part of Spirit Catholic Radio in Nebraska. I love that. And, Jerry, I wanted to share something. We always highlight programs for our listeners so that they can stay tuned in and just learn and grow in their faith. And Friday, open line with Colin Donovan. Friday, it's 3 p.m. Eastern Time, and it encores 10 p.m. Eastern Time on EWTN Radio. So today, Friday, Colin Donovan, open line, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Don't forget it.
Awesome. We got some more social media. And then, if you don't mind, Debbie, would you mind take a minute or two before we close the show and share a little bit more about the Miracle House and your visit there? But yeah, we've heard from a number of people on social media. Watching on YouTube, hello to you guys. Ethan says, my favorite memory of high school was when my athletic teacher told me that I was chosen to represent my school in table tennis. He says, I went on to play for many years, up to the national level. Way to go, Ethan. Colette, also watching on YouTube. My favorite high school memories are going out with my friend and going on long bike rides. I would like to give a shout out to Father Michael O'Hara and Sister Mary, great role models for me. Dave says favorite high school memories are friends and band. And yeah, I love playing in band as well. I'm still in touch with my closest high school friends. Band kept going to school, made going to school fun all year. Marching band, jazz band, concert band, parades, competitions, camaraderie was my experience.
Wow.
Really nice.
Beautiful. So yes, real quickly, I did on October 12th on the feast of Blessed Carlo Acutis, and he's one of our go-to saints on the road to full canonization. I went to the Miracle House with Marty in Canton, Ohio. That's where Jesus and St. Therese of Lisieux appeared to Rhoda Wise. That's the same house that Mother Angelica was healed when she was a young girl and a young lady. And it's just an amazing, modest house where many miracles happened, and it just incredible. So much to learn there. I felt very at home. I didn't want to leave, and I did ask Karen, the caretaker. I said, Karen, did Jesus have a sense of humor? And she says, yeah, there was one time. All the times he appeared, he was very solemn. But then this one time, the husband had too many boxes in the bedroom, and he said, didn't your husband leave me any room to come into the, to visit? And I thought how wonderful that Jesus had that kind of quick, response, that quick wit about it. I thought amazing. And that's our God. That is our God. It just, so if you get a chance to ever visit the Miracle House, Rhoda Wise's house in Canton, Ohio, please do so. It's an extraordinary experience, and you can learn so much about what happened there and Mother Angelica's life. And there's pictures of everything there and a video as well. And ask for Karen. She's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Guess what, Jerry? Mike called back. Mike, you really were listening in Braintree, Massachusetts. We were just testing to see if you were still listening, Mike. Welcome back. How you doing?
Pretty good, thanks. Yeah, I'm a first-time caller. I love listening to the show. I listen to it every day. Turn it on when I get in my car, and I travel a lot with my job, with the present job that I have, which and I just really enjoy listening to it while I'm traveling from place to place.
Oh, thank you, Bruce.
The reason why I was calling, I was just wanted to share a memory too with my own friends. I know the first year in high school, you know how it is at the first year in high school, kids just getting used to things, and I remember it was kind of a crazy time. I grew up in the 70s, so it was kind of there was a lot of things going on in the 70s. It was kind of wild. But I was in a big school. It was I went to Catholic school up until high school, and then in high school I went to a public school. We had in Braintree, we had over 3,000 people in the school. It was a good-sized school, and there was a lot of things going on. It had kind of lost in my freshman year, but in my sophomore year, I ended up meeting a good core group of friends, and we're still friends to this day, even though we don't see each other. And I'm looking back, I'm thinking, well, what do we all have in common? But we all had pretty much similar values or the same values. We're pretty much all Catholic. Granted, we came from different backgrounds, but we didn't get caught up in all the craziness that usually goes on with high school. And given the hostilities of the times and the drugs and everything else that was going around, that was pretty good for a group of kids to stay out of trouble and stay clean and pretty much keep our noses clean, even though things were kind of crazy. Like all high school kids, we had the same temptations that everybody has today, but we basically, the core group of kids stayed close and tight, and we never really varied from our values. So that same, like I say, that same group of friends, we're still good friends today. Even if I don't see them, any one of them, if I haven't seen them for years, I could pick up the phone and talk to them tomorrow. So that's, I think there's something to be said to that. And I wish today kids would choose their friends wisely, because I think it does make a big difference in how you're influenced,
No question about it, Mike. As you're talking, my mother used to say all the time, but for the grace of God go I. And, the old saying, turn a different corner and your life would have been very different. And, if, like you said, if you get involved with a different group of friends than the ones you did, how much different would your life have been, would our lives have been? So you were given a great gift there. And even as a sophomore, I think a lot of kids are still kind of trying to find their way and who am I and who are my friends and who do I want to hang out with? But it sounds like you landed with a really healthy group of companions there in high school. So congratulations for that. Debbie, what do you think?
Well, all I can say, Mike, is you are blessed to have a core group of friends like that are, close knit, and you feel so, bonded with, and you can just pick up conversations, and you know they're there for you if you ever were to lean on them or need them. Mike, you're blessed. That's amazing. But that says a lot about you as well, because I think it takes a lot of effort, a lot of commitment, dedication, and loyalty to hold on to our friends from our youth. So way to go, Mike. You're never going to be a first-time caller again, so call us again in the near future, okay?
All right,
Okay,
thanks, Mike. Great discussion today, Debbie. And on Monday, we're going to take urgent prayer intentions. It's our monthly God, I Need You Now. What is something urgent you are praying for? Please let us join you in praying for that on Monday.
Yeah,
Until then.
And we love our first-time callers, so be thinking of that on Monday. If you want to call in, leave your urgent prayer requests. Until then, have a beautiful and blessed weekend in the year of St. Joseph. Please pray for us, St. Joseph.
One of the reasons we should go to Mass is because it is the food of the saints that we receive. And for the saints, they understand